Myth and Shaft, only on YouTube Live at E3. All right, now we've got a first look demo at the all-new survival action shooter, Remnant from the Ashes. And here to get post-apocalyptic is president and co-founder of Gunfire Games, David Adams. David, great to have you with us here. We saw this game, I think, for the first time around Gamescom last year. I'm like, oh, this looks really, really cool and different from Gunfire and Perfect World. Cool. Tell us a bit about this game. You guys obviously have done some amazing stuff with Darksiders, personal favorite of mine. Remnant, what kind of game is it? How is it new? What's different?
Yeah, so Remnant, like you said, it's an action shooter survival game.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things about the game we wanted to emphasize was the co-op elements. Like, we wanted to make a really cool co-op experience that you could play over and over and over again with your friends. And I think one of the things we're really proud of is the fact that the whole game is randomly generated. So not just the maps and the enemies, but the entire campaign, the worlds, the quests. So you could play the game and come to work and be like, dude, you fight that cool dragon? I'll be like, I didn't see a dragon, I fought a giant tree ant. Or
how do you design a campaign that's totally randomized, though?
It's definitely a challenge. It's taken a long time to figure out. There's a few touch points that always occur because we're trying to tell a story, but yeah, all the intermediate elements change up, like the bosses. You might encounter different NPCs. You're going to have different side quests and all kinds of different stuff.
So the story is somewhat, it's still a linear story. It's just sort of how you get between points A and B?
It's not completely linear. Like,
really?
Yeah, you can branch out and do side quests and stuff like that, yeah. But there is a story. It starts on Earth in an apocalyptic setting, like 1960s. But you go to all kinds of crazy fantasy worlds. Like you can see in this video, this is a world called Yesha, which is inhabited by these weird sort of fawn-type creatures. But you go to a wide variety of different fantasy locales through the course of the game.
Okay. Now, it feels Soulsborne in a way, if that's the term, but it's seems like it's going to be obviously, pretty intense battles here, right, as well?
Yeah, we wanted there to be, we didn't want it to be a run and gun game where you're just shooting guys right and left. Like, you definitely have to pay attention and learn enemy behaviors and patterns, and you will die a lot. The game is meant to be difficult, and that's a big part of bringing friends with you so you can help overcome some of the challenges.
Co-op throughout the game, right?
You can play the entire game co-op, drop in whenever. Absolutely.
Wow. Now, you guys, obviously have done some amazing stuff with Darksiders, and people love the sort of high action of this. As you said, a little more strategy to this, certainly, and that randomization of the environment. I love that even the maps are totally randomized, so it's everyone gets kind of a different experience. But then I imagine the replayability is up there, because then you're going to want to co-op with your friends.
Yeah,
because every adventure is going to be different, right?
Yeah, we want to encourage people to play the game over and over again. I want to jump into your world because you have different stuff in your world that I don't have.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing is all the items are tied to the bosses, mini bosses, quests, and events. So if I get a boss or an event that you've never seen before, I will have all unique gear. I'll have different armor, I'll have different weapons. So there's a lot of incentive to keep replaying to try to get those different events and bosses and play into the randomized nature of the game.
Wow, yeah. No, it's amazing to see that you have so much opportunity, I think, for people to have a different experience every time. Tell us a bit about the character you're playing, and then co-op, who do you play as?
So you sort of play, you come from this primitive tribe on Earth, because the world's been kind of over for like 80 years.
Okay,
invaded by these weird plant creatures. And you're sent on a pretty high-level quest, like, hey, find out what happened, try to save the world. Kind of a generic, but it's a very it's kind of like an Odyssey-type story where you're going along and you're discovering all these crazy things, because you leave Earth, you go to fantasy worlds. Because this is actually one of the crazy boss fights you can encounter. Bosses are a pretty big part of the game, but it's really about the journey along the way and all the interesting stuff you discover and experience as you play the game.
Wow. Well, it's just like the fact that, like this boss you may never see?
Yeah, you could play the game and never get this boss, absolutely. That's pretty crazy. There's tons of bosses that you probably won't even see. You'll have to play it over and over again, and you can unlock an adventure mode, so you could just go, hey, I just want to play on Yesha, and it'll generate a world for you in this biome, and you could try to go through there and
so is there a narrative to it, like a beginning, middle, and end to the story?
Yeah, there's a main campaign you can play through, but we're really trying to set up so that you can go in and just play adventure mode and try out all the different randomized worlds. Yeah. And we plan to continually add to it after launch, like new quests, new events, new bosses.
Yeah.
This is an example of a world boss, which is one of our more challenging bosses. And you'll get a cool boss weapon from this guy. You get a bunch of cool, unique items for every boss.
I got to say, it looks, it looks fast and fun, and I love that you're doing something that's going to be, very replayable at this level of sort of production quality. Is pretty incredible, and working with Perfect World, it's cool, and it feels like it's progressive for you guys to have a game structured like this. So where are you at in development on?
The game comes out August 20th, so
we're
on the final stretch. Yeah.
My God, all right.
So we're working really hard to finish it up, but it's already pretty far along, as you can see. playable
Yeah.
at E3. There's a couple different places you can play it. This particular map at E3, but
Wow.
yeah.
All right. Well, it's amazing coming in August, and we'll get to check more of it. And awesome to see that you guys are building new IPs like this as well. And we're all for whatever else comes from you guys. So
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks very much,
Yeah.
David. Great to
Thank
see
you.
you. Have a great
Absolutely.
E3.